An old prophecy is gradually being fulfilled in the hills of Israel. Under the golden sun, one red heifer, pure and untouched by labor, grazes in an area rich with divine promise and holy history. This isn't just any calf. Some believe it holds the key to an event many have long awaited, the rebuilding of Jerusalem's third temple and the onset of the end times. Over 3,000 years ago, during Israel's journey through the wilderness, God gave Moses and Aaron a peculiar command. The Lord instructed in Numbers 19 verse 2, to bring a red heifer without blemish, in which there is no defect, and on which a yoke has never been placed. This heifer was to be taken from the camp, killed, and burned. After adding cedar wood, hyssop, and scarlet wool to the fire, the ashes were collected for the purification water, Numbers 19 verse 6 to 9. If someone had come into contact with death, this was the only way to restore ritual purity. It wasn't merely a symbolic act, Numbers 19 verse 11 to 13. Death made ancient Israel unclean. Touching a corpse prevented one from worshipping or being in God's presence. Even the most respected priest could not enter the temple without the red heifer's ashes. The only way to connect death and life, impurity and holiness, separation and restoration was by mixing the ashes with pure spring water, also known as living water. However, the red heifer holds a deeper mystery beyond its practical use. It is called a chak in Jewish tradition, a divine rule that defies human understanding. Even King Solomon, the wisest man in history according to the Midrash and Talmud, could not grasp it. As Ecclesiastes 7 verse 23 states, I said, I will become wise, but it was far from me. The paradox of the red heifer is that it makes the pure priest unclean while purifying the impure. It is a command that only God fully understands, a true divine enigma. The ceremony disappeared after the ashes ran out following the destruction of the Second Temple in 70 AD. The Mishnah notes that only 9 red heifers have ever been prepared throughout history, Para 3 verse 5. It is said that the Messiah will prepare the 10th. History stirred once again in September 2022 when 5 heifers with perfect red coats were born on Christian-owned ranches in Texas. They were flown to Israel in silence and prophetic expectation, flawless, never yoked, and carefully monitored. Rabbinic officials from the Temple Institute, a group working for decades on rebuilding the temple, examined each heifer. Biblical law requires that a calf must be 3 years old without any scars, blemishes, or discolored hair. If even one is still perfect, it can be sacrificed and burned. Its ashes will be used to rebuild the temple and restore the purification rites. Everything needed for worship is already set up at the Temple Institute, including silver trumpets, Numbers 10 verse 2, incense altars, Exodus 30 verse 1, priestly garments, Exodus 28, golden menorahs, Exodus 25 verse 31, and a fully restored altar. Men from the tribe of Levi have been chosen and trained for priestly duties, Numbers 3 verse 6 to 10. Everything is ready except for the ashes. For many Jews, the temple symbolizes hope for the future and a reminder of the past. Prophets foretold its rebuilding. In Ezekiel 43 verse 1 to 4, Ezekiel describes a future temple filled with God's glory. Zechariah says that the Lord will return to the Mount of Olives, which lies east of Jerusalem, Zechariah 14 verse 4. In Matthew 24 verse 15 to 16, Jesus reaffirms Daniel's prediction of imminent desecration, saying, When you see the abomination of desolation, standing in the holy place, let those in Judea flee to the mountains. The Apostle Paul also cautioned us about a coming deception, let no one deceive you, for that day will not come unless the man of sin is revealed, who sits in the temple of God, declaring himself to be God, 2 Thessalonians 2 verse 3 to 4. In Revelation, John sees a temple rising again. Then I was given a measuring rod, and the angel said, Rise and measure the temple of God, the altar, and those who worship there. Revelation 11 verse 1. But for any of this to happen, the red heifer must be found, sacrificed, and its ashes stored for purification. That day may be coming quietly and quickly. If one of the 5 heifers remains flawless, it will be taken to the Mount of Olives, burned, and ritually sacrificed. The ashes will clean vessels, dedicate the altar, and purify priests, Numbers 19 verse 18 to 21 and Leviticus 16 verse 18 to 19. Only then can temple worship resume. To Christians, the red heifer represents something greater, a foreshadowing of Jesus Christ. For if the ashes of a heifer sanctify for the purifying of the flesh, how much more shall the blood of Christ purge your conscience from dead works to serve the living God, Hebrews 9 verse 13 to 14. Jesus, like the red heifer, was sacrificed outside the city walls, therefore Jesus also, that he might sanctify the people with his blood, suffered outside the gate, Hebrews 13 verse 11 to 12. The red heifer purified the body. Jesus purifies the soul. One was temporary. The other is eternal. But the return of the red heifer may serve as a divine signal that prophecy is unfolding again. Yet this hope comes with a warning. Daniel spoke of a covenant that would be broken. He will confirm a covenant with many, but in the middle of the week, he will bring an end to sacrifice and offering, and set up abominations, Daniel 9 verse 27. Revelation warns of judgment and tribulation. Behold, he is coming with clouds, and every eye will see him, Revelation 1 verse 7. And Jesus declared in Matthew 24 verse 44, the Son of Man is coming at an hour you do not expect. So stay prepared. The Word of God is alive. The prophecies are in motion. And the King is coming.